Hey everybody, what's cracking? Today we got another Cine Summit highlight for you. I love doing these. I hope I can knock out more of them faster for y'all. But we're going to get into a cool little piece that I wanted to remind you guys of from an unbelievable presenter that we had last year. Before we do that, a little reminder, don't forget to go to the bigleaguefilmschool.com site if you haven't done that yet, and click on this little send me my video. You'll get 3 awesome tips by Jerome Keat on how you can improve your cinematography. Today, this is stuff that he does and every cinematographer does all the time. You click on that, enter your email right there, and you are good to go. Okay, so the presentation that we are going to discuss today, we're going to just take out a little piece in there, a little gem, and we're going to highlight it, is from the 2014 Spring Cine Summit. What you're seeing here is the vip.bigleaguecinesummit.com site, where you can see the past Cine Summits. We've had one in 2013 winter and in 2014 this last May and spring. And this is going to come from the last one from the spring. So if you're interested in revisiting all of that, you can do that right there at that site, and you can get lifetime access if you are interested. But we are going to revisit a little snippet from How to Create Cinematic and Dramatic Lighting from August Bradley. He really killed it. He has such a wealth of information, and he's so open and giving with it. I mean, this guy really doesn't hold back. So it was a treat to have him on. His work is insane, off the hook. Go to Vimeo, go to his website. You can just Google him and you'll find him all over the map. But what we're going to talk about is I saw a little part in there which I think might have went right over people's heads, and it's so crucial. He explains it so well. He does such a good job of breaking these concepts down in a way that's understandable. He talks about how the distance of light, the placement, the distance of where you place your light, how much of an effect it has on the dramaticness of how it affects your subject, your main, whatever it is. This is mainly for the KeyLight, but he explains that it's also for other lights. But if you're on a KeyLight, if you're lighting a person's face or just your main subject, the distance of the where you place the light makes a big difference. So I'm not going to get into it. I'm going to let him do it and give you that little kind of a recap, and then we'll discuss it. All right, let's check it out.
The other factor in assessing how the light interacts with the subject, it's true with all light, but particularly matters with the KeyLight, is how close or far away it is, both because close or far will affect the size and therefore affect the softness, but also how close or far it is will affect the fall off, the fall off from the light into the shadow. Now, if a light is very close to a subject, let's say it's right in front of me, let's say it's 10 inches in front of me. I guess we should do maybe centimeters.
Yeah. This is worldwide. This is international.
Get into that. Either way, it's 10 units in front of me.
Yeah.
But very close. The light will be you'll have the light at a low level if it's this close, because it's going to be bright, right? So it'd be a lower level light, or dimmed down or scrimmed down. The light will hit the face and then very quickly fall in the shadow by the time it gets to my ears. And certainly by the time it gets to anything behind me, it'll fall off dark quickly. If the light is 100 units away, then my ears and my face will be lit the same. Because
great point. Yeah.
The percentage difference, if it's close, the percentage difference between the light to my nose and the light to my ears is big.
Yeah.
I mean, it could be double if the light's this close.
Yeah.
Then the difference to here and here, this is twice as far away.
Right.
If it's 100 units away, the percentage difference between the light to my nose and the light to my ear is essentially the same.
Yeah, amazing.
So when it's further away, it's going to be brighter, and the nose and ear will get the same hit of light essentially.
Yeah.
When it's really close, the power will be lower. The nose will get the same exposure. We're adjusting the brightness so that the face in front gets the same exposure. But by the time you get to your cheek, it's going to start getting darker. By the time you get to your ear, it'll get even darker. And that can be really nice.
Yeah.
Have quick fall off, because it'll give 3-dimensionality.
Wow.
To
so you can get
the face.
soft light while getting a quick fall off.
And get close. And there, a smaller light close is a bigger light.
Yeah.
So if you get, a small chimera, for example, close versus a bigger chimera far, you're going to get more 3-dimensionality and depth with the smaller chimera close.
Interesting. Wow.
Um,
Love it.
Yeah, so that gives it shape. And really, one of the big things I go for in lighting my subjects is a sense of depth and three-dimensionality. This gives a texture, and it gives almost a tactile quality to the face. Flat to me tends to be boring. I tend to like depth. There are times where flat's appropriate, and there are people who love flat, but I tend to like depth. And depth comes from lighting sources that are closer. Now, if you get too close, it could get really spotty and spectacle, or you'll have more spectacle on the cheeks, on the nose. Sometimes that's good. Sometimes it's too much. You find the right balance. Positioning the light is key, both in terms, because that's essentially just the closest points and the rounded points, like the tip of the nose or tip of the shoulder. Often will get a highlight glare. Sometimes that's good. Sometimes it's too much. If that's too much, back the light off a little bit further away, and that'll soften, and it'll give more fill to the other areas. Of course, when you're backing it further away to maintain the same exposure, you're also brightening it. But these are factors that impact the shape of the subject. I mean, you're actually going to change the sense of depth. You're going to change the bone structure in a way and how it portrays itself. Yeah. Because we don't see objects. We see light reflecting off objects. It entirely determines how we interpret it, how the light hits it and bounces off of it.
Yeah, so. I'm blown away right now. I haven't given enough emphasis in my lighting on that playing with the distances.
Yeah, my background is in photography prior to becoming a cinematographer, and I did a lot of beauty photography. And beauty is makeup, cosmetic, ads, hair products. And it's a lot of tight work, very close macro work often on faces. So you really see that. It's also, you see a lot in tabletop product photography, where it's really obvious. The 2-inch difference is a very big difference in how close or far it is when you're doing macro photography. So it really makes a difference. When you're doing in big spaces, you need to make bigger changes for it to be noticeable. But it is a factor how close it is. Tying
this a little more closely to the cinematic, dramatic lighting goal that somebody may have, would you say that they would probably want to get it in quite tight so that they get that quick fall off, so that we get that depth, and in other words, so that we get away from everything being evenly lit?
Yep.
Right, so that's a big piece of this equation. It sounds
for sure. Yes, for the kind of lighting I do, which is dramatic, it's moody, it's mysterious. Those are qualities I want in lighting. Typically, I typically go to projects that benefit from that. So that, it's not the one lighting for all projects, of course. But if you want this dramatic, cinematic, mysterious, not even necessarily mysterious, but just it has mood and atmosphere. This kind of lighting will bring that to the project.
Okay, so there you have it. Honestly, there's not much for me to add on this one because he just really nails it. I can't top how he manages to just encapsulate and really break down the topic. I mean, for those who kind of want me to restate it, there's not much to say here, but basically, if you want to get that more of a dramatic feel, which will happen by having differences in light and dark, so that, in other words, instead of having all of the subject being exposed exactly the same, what you want some differences. So most people just do it off to the side, and therefore it kind of falls off over here, and it'll become darker on this end. That's one way of doing it, and that's probably the main way of doing it, and that's fine. But the distance of the light is going to make a big difference, as he was explaining. When it's far off, the difference between what one part of the face and another part of the face is going to be, the effect that the light's going to have is almost not distinguishable. So you'll have the same effect everywhere where that light hits. But when you put the light closer, because the percentage difference of between where it's hitting one part of the face and another part of the face becomes a much bigger percentage difference, as he explained, then you get this completely different dynamic going on, and your lighting becomes more dramatic and less flat, I guess you can say. Now, of course, it depends the use. We have a presentation with Matt Workman, which I hope I'll do a little highlight on that as well, where it's almost the exact opposite, because it's for commercial beauty lighting where you just want everything really well lit and vibrant and you know, and light. So you don't want that really extreme drama. Of course, even for that, it depends what kind of commercial. But when you're trying to do like the beauty lighting, that it's completely different. For that, you would want it to be as even as possible everywhere and get that glow. But anyways, for our purposes, for getting that dramatic lighting, this was a very strong tip. And remember, you can check it out in full, that plus another whole bunch of sessions that we had at the vip.bigleaguecinesummit.com site. And we've also done another Cine Summit highlight with Philip Briggs. So check that out. And, you know, we'll be bringing more and more of these to you. All right. Take it easy.